think a lot of them are just stone cold, there's no emotion, and they don't view people as people anymore. And you almost feel like you're literally living in the Twilight Zone. And you feel like you're the only sane one in a bunch of insane people. And it's up to the point where I'm afraid that I'm going to start thinking that this is normal. I don't want to ever get to that point. There's good people, but they're outnumbered. There's good people, but they're outnumbered. There's good people, but they're outnumbered. There's good people, but they're outnumbered.
I don't understand. Nothing makes sense. Like, something's not right.
Because it's like going in the fucking Twilight Zone. Like, everyone here is okay with this.
Hello, it's November 2022, and for anyone who says it doesn't snow on the west coast, well, I've seen snow. It didn't last. It was wet snow, lots of rain, and that part is true, but I have seen snow, even though it didn't last. However, it's not cold at all, which is a good thing. And there's going to be an upcoming video that is going to share my journey for the month that kind of took off of making videos and everything else. So stay tuned for that. Now, I had reached my destination and I met with this doctor, and he's fairly certain that he can help me to at least some degree. Right now, some tests have to be done, and he has to review medical reports from the surgery and afterwards and everything else. This is a private doctor, and all the tests and everything that I'm going to be having done is going to be out of pocket, so everything is out of pocket with this, but he's pretty confident that he can help me, again, to some degree. And we don't know yet if maybe there's another surgery going to be involved. And I suppose the approach that we're going to be taking, you might want to call it an unorthodox approach, but regardless, he explained a lot of things in detail to me, and a lot of things even with regards to the surgery and the scar tissuing and the organs and everything else. He took the time to really explain things well, and this doctor seems to be, I have a very good feeling about him. Comes very highly recommended by more than one person, so we'll see what happens with all that. And yeah, just time will tell, right? I've talked a lot about and showed some evidence that I've had with regards to my death experiences as well as my near-death experiences, two different things, and coming close to death and avoiding death. And I'm kind of very indifferent to that whole topic, as well as life, I suppose, and everything that I've gone through for the past decade and living in the aftermath regarding the city of Calgary and the sex trafficking and the police, judicial, and political corruption there and everything else. I remember reading somewhere that I'm so mentally and physically tired that my soul is tired too, spiritually, I guess. And my death experiences started from surviving abortion, being born dead for 45 minutes, and drowning twice, dying those times, and surviving in junior high a gang beating that left me for dead, survived being deliberately poisoned for some sort of insurance trust fund thing, which was taken from me anyway. And the list goes on. There's other examples too. And this other thing that's been lasting for, I think, a couple of years before the surgery. I remember when I ended up in the hospital having the surgery, the doctor did say to me that, he goes, "I'm surprised you're still alive." My answer to that, in jest, was not because I want to be. You know, and one of the other things that has come up over time, throughout my life even, on how fast my body heals. And one of the things that I remember when I had my foot broken, it was a work-related thing. I guess it should have taken months for it to heal, and it only took 2-3 weeks for that break and all the injuries with the soft tissue to heal. And the doctors were like, they'd never seen anything like that. They were pretty amazed. And that kind of ties into with when I was having the surgery, when I was in emergency before the surgery, and then, you know, afterwards. They were having a hard time with the IV because I guess my tissues, my body would start to heal very rapidly around it, so it wouldn't work, and they would have to keep finding another spot, and I think each arm had like a dozen or more IV points. It would work, and then everything would just heal around it so rapidly. Now, one of the things that I learned with this visit with this doctor here is I don't have blood clots. It's something else. We're not sure. We don't know what it is yet. And the lumps in my hands are something else. So, good news. So I don't have blood clot issues. So yeah, just thought I'd update everyone. A lot of people have been asking, private messaging me and so forth, and even friends, you know, wondering what's going on with my travels and how I'm feeling and everything else. And it's been a rough ride with regards to my health, but I endure. So just wanted to do a real quick update on this part of my journey, my life journey, my journey finding home perhaps. And I want to thank everyone for their support, whether it be just words of support, prayers, and any other kind of support to help me get this far. And I mean, I couldn't have made it this far in life without people like you over the many, many years, surviving out in the bush, in the wilderness, with food and gas being my priorities, and then the few bills that I do have. So I want to thank everyone. And since I've been here, I've talked to a few people who apparently seen, I don't know how many of my videos, but they kind of get the gist of my story. And you know, there's like, you know, I try to do good, sacrificed, destroyed my life, try to do good for others. And it's nice when people recognize that, and I'm not looking for a pat on the back, and I'm not looking for any praise or anything else. I'm not. And if I wasn't living in the aftermath, going through everything that I've gone through in the circumstances of how I've been living, I would have probably just, aside from telling the story, not mention anything about my situation in life. So I'm not looking for any praise or anything else, and I don't need 15 minutes of fame. And I'm not delusional trying to think that, I'm going to change the world. Not at all. But just recently, someone had said to me these words. They said, well, at least you tried. Most people don't. At least you tried to do something extraordinary. And I would like to thank that person for those words, because I don't think I did anything extraordinary, but I did try. And I know over the years, recent years, there's been a lot of talk about busting all these sex trade, human trafficking type of things in Alberta. And I don't take any credit for that, because until the names that I know and the people I know, which are high up, are heard, say for example in the news, then I can't take credit for anything. But perhaps if nothing else, at least I drew attention to that problem in Alberta. And despite the negativity, the bitterness as a descriptive, with regards to what happened to me, with the injustice that followed all that, Alberta is a beautiful province. And the people there are fantastic. And it's just unfortunate that I had to go through the injustice that I went through. And again, how it started doesn't matter with my trying to expose the sexual abuse of these vulnerable women and everything else. And I did mention that relatively recently I had spoke to someone who knows the female that's central to the story. They know them personally. And it was an interesting conversation. Again, I don't disclose names or anything else, even what was said. It was interesting for me. That's all I'm going to say about that. I would like to thank everyone who continues to follow my story. And I guess we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.
Listen to this and write it down if you can't remember it. You're never going to outgrow warfare. You simply must learn to fight. I hear people saying to me, oh, when is it going to get easier? When you die.